What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. I'm not going to be too long in this one, but I want to talk about how the narcissist needs you more than they want you to know. But that's just something that they play good at hiding. They're really good at hiding how they really feel until they get angry. And then you'll know, it'll give you a better idea why they act out so quickly and why they get so mad about the things they can't control. So the narcissists, they really need you more than they want you to know, because when no one else is around, that's when you kind of start to see them going through withdrawals of losing you. And it can be the smallest thing that you used to do that would really excite the narcissist and would leave them wanting more and pretty much just having that sense of entitlement. But the moment you take that away from them, the narcissist will start to act as if it doesn't bother them, but they can only put on for so long. And a lot of times they'll start to hoover you quicker than they normally do if you go no contact. And I've seen this happen with a narcissist who would always feel like they're in charge. And it doesn't matter how much a person can pretty much throw their weight around and run the show, the narcissist will always feel like, well, I'm going to still do what I want to do. I don't care who you go to. I don't care what type of complaints you put in. They don't care. Y'all, I'm sorry if it's going in and out. The StreamYard is just acting crazy today, so I'm not going to be too long on this one. I start to just do a quick video on it, but I can't be on camera because I'm doing my hair right now, and I'm not trying to let y'all see me with the big old afro. But yeah, narcissists are really good at putting on an act, acting unbothered, pretending like they have moved on. And that's when they'll go looking for new supply or trying to establish relationships in strange places or trying to return back to someone who they already cut off. They do that out of desperation to get supply. They need that attention. They are craving for attention after you've gone no contact. And they'll even do this if they went no contact with you. But see, what happens is a narcissist will go no contact with you just to see how you're going to react. And then they so big-headed, they'll feel like that it's going to bother you to the point you're going to come running back to them first. You're going to come back begging. You can't live without them. You know, and what blows them is when they see that it's not going down that way. When they realize that, wow, so much time has passed and this person, I still haven't heard from them. So now their mind is all over the place. They don't know what to think. They're afraid maybe that they've lost you to somebody else. Someone else got your attention. You've been spending time someplace else. Then you're just not thinking about them anymore. And all that could be true. And if it is, that's good. Real good for you. Because narcissists will play all type of games. But when it really comes down to it, they're not really as tough as they want people to think they are. They're very fragile. They are breaking down inside. They are having a nervous breakdown behind losing you. And it can just be for a few hours. They're so used to having things a certain way, they can't see it no other way unless they're in control of the narrative. But once the narrative is out of their control, they don't know what to do with that. And they have to swallow their pride because they're very prideful. They don't want to always make the first move in hoovering you again or love bombing. They don't want to always do that. Sometimes they really try their best to be strong and do without you, but they can't. They can't. They can't function without you. Just think about a narcissist who is so used to you depending on them. When a narcissist is used to you depending on them, they're expecting you. I'm sorry, y'all getting distracted by what I'm doing. But they're used to you pretty much making a first move, reaching out to them, breaking the silent treatment or attempting to break the silent treatment, and they will continue to ignore you because they're just a-holes like that, and they want to get their reaction out of you to make you angry, to make you beg and plead that they communicate with you. But when those things don't bother you no more, what they do is pretend like, okay, well, I'm just going to be the bigger person now. And, like they'll say stuff like that and they'll do it in sarcasm. They'll be so sarcastic about the fact that they went silent on you. Or if you just decided, look, I'm done playing these games. It's draining. It's not getting me anywhere. We're both better off just letting go. See, they're not even taking that serious. The narcissists go by what they're used to. They're used to the same old, same old. So they're never going to expect anything to go a different way. And when they're used to you again, depending on them, they're waiting on you to reach out to them. They need you to need them more than they want you to know. They really need you more than they want you to know, but they really need you to need them. And that's something that you moved on from. You never needed them to begin with. You really were doing the narcissist a favor. You were feeding their ego. You were pleasing their needs. You were pouring into them. You were being a good support system, a good friend and confidant, and everything that a person could ask for. And they have it in someone until they don't have it anymore. So they didn't see that day coming again. When you turned your back on all that, they'll let that pride get in the way for a moment and claim that, you're missing out on a good thing. But the thing about it is you didn't call for it. They did. They did, whether they went no contact first or you. Because you went no contact for a reason, a valid reason, the way they have been treating you for so long. And it just had come time, well, enough is enough and I can't deal with this no more. So you decide to move on. But they are so full of themselves, they don't see the day coming when you will walk out first. They don't think that that's possible. Not you. Not how much, you're so in love with them, you would never leave them. And some of them, they like to bring that up sometimes throughout the relationship because they need that reassurance throughout the entire time they're with you. They need you to always remind them that you're never going to leave. They also need you, they need that constant reminder that you love them. They always need you to remind them how much you love them or that you just love them. And because of that, you'll never leave them. And when they fail to realize, because they're so simple minded, is that just because I love you don't mean that I won't leave you. I've had enough and I've realized my worth, and this is not worth sticking around for anymore. It's taking more from me, you know, to just sit here and allow this abuse where you can just leave and better yourself. But they don't ever think that it's, it'll be better for you if you leave them. Of course, they don't think that, but they be in for a rude awakening once you do decide to walk out that door. So I ain't gonna say they swallow their pride, but I have seen a narcissist run behind you, and they'll run behind you, but they'll be so angry because it's forcing them to do something and show a side of them that they got so many people fooled. Like, that just, it's not in them. And in their mind, it's not fighting, for their relationship, fighting for the love of their life. It's not doing the right thing and putting your pride aside and going for what you want. To them, they look at something like that as defeat. They look at that like if they're bowing down to you. That's how simple minded they are. They got one way of thinking. And it's either kill or be killed. It's either you won or you lost. You're a winner or you're a loser. Narcissist is just always black or white. There's never no in between. There's never no logic in the narcissist mindset. Hey, Starved Narcs, say exactly. They work hard to get you to believe otherwise. Yeah. They right in the stock and the shocking on this. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Say they're lazy, they hate working to obtain anything. I know. And then they want to just present you with anything. They offer anything in the sloppiest ways when they're so desperate to get that control back. It's not because they miss you and they want you. I mean, they miss you to a certain extent. They miss what you was doing for them. They miss everything you do for them. But they're not really gonna show you how much they love you, which is why they miss you. They're not gonna say they miss you because they love you and they don't want to be without you for those reasons. Some of them will come straight out and tell you the reason. They're just that dumb. They don't realize you're ruining it, but it's a good thing that you are showing me who you are. I don't need any other proof. Why, this is enough proof why I should leave. But some of them really are standing on it. Like, look, I need you to come back because how else am I going to make it without you? Like, that's the only reason you want me to come back. Like, what about togetherness? What about partnership? What about, 50-50? But they don't think like that. So they don't really have the words to express that way. They don't know how to show that they really feel that way because they don't. And it's good that they don't. Good. Keep telling the truth. Keep letting me know who you are. But at the same time, you lost me. And it's too late. Yeah. He's like, yeah, we're never were the tools to be used. That's it. Like yesterday at work, there's this lady. Y'all know I work with a narc. It's gonna always seem like it's gonna always be a narc in the workplace with me that I gotta deal with on a daily. So she just lost. The thing about it is they lose so many friends, who people who consider themselves friends to them, people who were really good to them, because you know they can't help but to be who they are, and people get tired of that and they leave, and they don't think that day will come, but they will run away people who they really, you know, they didn't even deserve to have in their life, because they don't know how to treat them. And ain't nobody gonna sit around and continue to let you mistreat them and abuse them and talk to them any kind of way and treat them as if they're children. Like, I'm not a child, you're not my mama. I've been raised. And some of them feel that way about people who are older than them, who are more educated than them, who are more experienced than them. They just overstep their boundaries and put themselves in positions to call the shots. Like, who told you you could do that? You cannot do that. They're not used to being told no, and they can't take it. A narcissist cannot take it when you tell them no. It's like they challenge you, like they're gonna try you, like they're telling you, you not, who are you to tell me what I can't do? Well, I'm the person who's in charge here. That's who I am. You know, it's like people literally end up hating him. I just couldn't give them that kind of energy. I know, because I was telling somebody yesterday that the person is making me, this narcissist at work. I was telling another coworker, she really making me just wanna. She make it like it's normal, and it's not normal for people to hate someone. Like, you really gotta get under somebody's skin for a long period of time to develop hate in that person. Like, they really have to do a number on you. And she's done so many things, so much that she has done during a period of time while I've been there, which to me really haven't been that long. It's only been a year for me to say, I was like, I had to catch myself, because I really just feel like, I hate her. I really feel like that. I can't feel any other way for her, because look what I got to deal with here. The people just don't know what I deal with. And even when I report her behavior in the workplace, it's like they be having certain grounds covered already so that they can stay protected, especially if people are more familiar with them than you are. So that kind of gives them the upper hand to stay in that position. And it gets frustrating. But now it's coming a time where, people are starting to see who's the real problem. And it takes a lot of patience to have to sit through that and wait for that day to come. Like when they say they're going to get their day, and everybody got their day, the narcissists, they got their day. It just be seeming like it's not going to ever come. And when it happens, it's when you least expect it. And lately, it's like that's how it's been for her at work. So, again, when when that day comes for them, everybody is gone. They don't have nobody to turn to. They got to put on fake conversations, fake smiles. Nothing hitting the same for them anymore. They got to look up old numbers of people who they probably had blocked. They forgot they blocked the person, out of anger, because they couldn't control that person no more or whatever. Or that person got away from them. They got to go digging up old supply. Because they don't have nobody. They be so desperate to have somebody in their corner to listen to the nonsense, the lies, and the foolishness. And nobody want to hear that all day. They love to compare themselves to someone else's life and brag on what they have and stuff like that. They're very jealous of people. Nobody want to be in that environment with someone all day. It's like you want to change up and see and just experience new things and new people and places. So I had those same feelings at one time. Now they're just comical. Yeah. And we just sit and laugh at her now because she just sits in misery. It's like she's just pitiful. It got to be a pitiful life to live when you try to stay ahead. Talking about the narcissist, when they try to stay ahead of somebody, but they're really setting themselves up for failure. Because where they mess up at is not what they don't understand is when they so-called punishing a person through the silent treatment. Well, good. Now we don't have to talk. But the thing that comes along with the silent treatment and a narcissist, they're going to do things that you're not going to be expecting, because the narcissists use the silent treatment as a punishment, and during the silent treatment, they're angry. So they're going to try to do stuff to hurt you. They're going to do stuff to try to set you up. And they're not expecting you to say anything to them about it. So that's how they kind of, feel like they win during the silent treatment. But they really don't if they don't have that advantage. So when they think about that there's no advantage, when they don't have an upper hand on nothing, they have no say-so anymore, they're completely powerless and there's nothing that they could do. They left in a tight space. So again, they have to swallow their pride and come back to you and try to communicate. And then you might be like, ugh, I liked it when we weren't talking. And they feel it. They feel it. They know when you like, we really don't have to go back to the way it was. I kind of liked it like that. That's when they know that they have lost total control. That's when they know that they have lost total control. And they also know that they are losing you. Like you don't feel the same for them anymore. So you really don't care what they do and it doesn't bother you as much. They get kind of scared then. So now they got to play nice and come back big and I'll try to hold a little small talk. And like I say, that cuckoo clock I work with, she do this thing where she kind of let me know when she's angry and frustrated because she likes to hit in her hand or she have to hit something or she slams. I always work with an angry narcissist. It's like they can't contain how they really feel. They get so mad. Like my silence really be killing them. It really be killing them. She be so mad. She asked me, did I want lunch yesterday? I said, no, I'm good. I could be starving. No money to buy lunch. I'll wait till I get home to eat. If I didn't think to bring nothing to work before I accept anything from the narcissist. And that's the best way to be. Because that's what they need. They need you to need them. And so I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. And she just looked. And it's always like that with the narc. When you turn them down, they have to sit and think for a minute. Okay, how am I react to this? What you mean? How you gonna react? You just gonna accept the answer and move on, hopefully. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Star of Narcs. Appreciate it. Now I know how to pin the super chat or any. I guess I could do any comment. Thank you so much. Cause I was looking, I'll be looking it up like how to do this, how to do that. Like, all right, now I know. Man, I feel so bad all those times I didn't pin the super chat or the super sticker. I appreciate that. That really helped me. It really does, cause I don't get paid on a regular on here, and that's okay. But it really helps to boost up the payment where I'm at with my payment. So I appreciate it. You've been showing me so much support. I really appreciate that. I was telling my son, because sometimes he be looking back at my videos. He was like, and people starting to give you money, man, that's cool. I'm like, I know. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. I'm trying to do my hair. And I'm messing it up, but I got the worst light in here. I'm kind of dragging though. I only had a 2-day work week. And it felt like I was worked the whole 5 days. And it's crazy because we celebrate Mardi Gras down here where I don't anymore. I'm not into none of that no more. Been there and done it. But during the days we were off, like 2 of those days I was sick. 2 days I just caught like a stomach bug, like a little stomach virus. I was in the bed for like a whole 24 hours. And that's probably why I also feel drained too. Like I really needed to just catch up on some rest this weekend. That's why I'm just so slow and I keep taking breaks on my hair. But yeah, I'm gonna get it done. I hope to be done at least by 6. The goal was 5, but we'll see. But yeah, I know a lot of people been saying that it's something going around a stomach virus. Cause that's what it was. I mean, it was just like I don't know, like what the? Cause it was Sunday night. I got up 3:45 that morning. Yeah, Sunday 3:45 a.m. I'm not even gonna forget the time. Cause I'm like, why is my stomach hurting so bad? Lord, I couldn't. It woke me up out the sleep. Um, and every way that something could come up, that's how it came up out of me in the bathroom. And it was back to back bathroom visits, probably 5 or 6 times. I'm like, Lord, I might as well just sleep in the tub. I mean, I was so sick in the stomach, couldn't hold it in, couldn't rest, couldn't go back to sleep. And then I just started feeling not just a nauseated feeling, but that ache that be in the stomach, that I think they call it gastro something. I had that a few years ago. I had that bad. That lasted like 3 weeks. I lost 15 pounds off that like a few years ago. But this time I'm glad it was just 2 days of it and it wasn't that bad. But it was something just out the blue. And people saying, yeah, they got a bug going around. But I'd be like, isn't it always something going around? Always. Always and everywhere. And I was just, oh, and then I started getting cold. I would go from being cold to hot, running back and forth to the bathroom. Then I started drinking a cup of water. That was coming back up. So I started drinking a ginger ale. That started coming back up. So I'm just completely empty with a fever. The fever got up to 102. The temp stayed at 102 for a while. Then I was finally able to lay down without jumping back up. Got back in the bed, stayed in bed a while, fell asleep, got up, and I had to use it again, but I noticed the fever broke. My fever had broke because I was feeling drenched. Like, Lord. But I'm glad the fever broke. Fever broke. But it broke and got down to like 99, between 98 and 99. We go from 98 to 99. Then doggone temp went back up to 100 the next day. So I was like, and that was all day Monday. It was bad Monday. It was bad. But I got through it. And finally I got my appetite back like Wednesday. I was feeling dehydrated. When I went back to work Thursday, I was just not feeling it Thursday. I wish I would have called in or just took off the whole rest of the week. And so anyway, that's why I was kind of feeling like I probably should have just took off the rest of the week. But I can't complain. Got the weekend off. But yeah, these narcissists, they want you to think that they don't care, but they be needing you. They need to feel like they're serving you, to stay in control, and you be like, I'm good. I don't need you for anything. She get mad. She punching herself in the hand. I'm like, I'm really dealing with some psychos around. What is going on? Why do they keep letting these people get through the cracks in these places to work? Lord, when they really need to be getting a check, just sit at home and collect your crazy check. Because you're not all together. And you definitely don't need to be working around children. I had to put in a report because she showed a weapon to a student. And I'm like, what is the problem? What is wrong with you? And I'm like, did that really just happen? Yeah, I can't just let this slide. A lot of stuff I would just kind of like try to tune out, but not nothing like that. Because first of all, you're not even supposed to be engaging with those students. And for you to do something like that, yeah, buddy, you getting too comfortable. And I gotta report this. Because some teachers, they feel like if I get on a student level, especially a narcissist, they're like children themselves. They never grow up in the mind and they become very competitive. So it's like the conversation is no no limits to the conversation, no boundaries. They don't understand that you're talking to a child about something that you shouldn't even be thinking about. You're an adult, but they don't think that way. So they be so competitive, and she be in a hard up conversation with those students about stuff like she back in her childhood. And I'd be like, I know she didn't. So embarrassing. That'd be so embarrassing. So yeah, that's what I have to deal with in the workplace. And that's how the narcissists are when they see that you don't need nothing from them. I'm good without you. I was good before I met you, and I'll be good when you gone for good out of my life. And when I had met her, she used to do stuff like set up a coffee station and different things like that. And when she seen that, it was like, I bring this and I bring that, and if you could just bring this and bring, I'm like, oh, I bring my own coffee to work. If I'm drinking coffee, I'm bringing my own. So again, she noticed that, oh, you don't have to tell me what you do, and you're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna do. Like, you're not gonna volunteer me to keep up with something that I didn't ask to be a part of. She picked that up and she was like, packed up that coffee pot and all that and took it back to her house. Okay, I don't care because I didn't want nothing from you anyway. I don't even know you. The narcissists love to just make up rules as soon as you meet them. Soon as they come in your life, they ready to set rules and boundaries. But the moment that you set rules for yourself and set your own boundaries, it's a problem because they can't get to you like they want to. And they don't have nothing if you not taken from them. That's how it starts off. Because now you automatically owe them. It's like just like something they come up with in their mind in order to deal with you, in order to deal with them, in order to have any type of relationship with them, any type of conversation. They always have to change the subject to something dealing with give and take. You know, if I give you this, will you give me that? Why are we even thinking about this? Like, how did we get on this subject? Why does it always have to come to something like this? You're dealing with a narc. Man, this stream, y'all, keep cutting out. I'm missing. Okay. What is it doing? Now it's saying current comments. Okay. Yeah, they can't survive without us. Can't tune out everything they do too much. Yeah. Yes, they compete with animals. If they feel like that the animal shoot is a little bit more like, oh, there's no competition with you in that. You could sit it out. You're not a lion. You lie a lie, you be lying, but you're not a lion. Go sit down. you know. Oh, and this is another thing she mentioned, and I'm gonna get off of her because she's crazy. Okay, so y'all probably heard this on your local news about I live in Louisiana and I live in Baton Rouge. I live in the city where Southern University is. And y'all probably heard of the student Caleb who died after hazing ritual. And we hear about everything and heard about all the details and stuff like that that's probably just not getting out. Yeah. So you know about the little boy Caleb that went to Southern who died in that hazing ritual. So we at work and just was talking about it, me and a couple of other people. She got in a conversation, and it always comes to something dealing with, they love to take over the conversation. They love to take over the conversation. She started to say they also have dogs. They put them dogs on you too. And we was like, well, they didn't mention nothing about dogs on them. They just was talking about other stuff that happened during the ritual and how the story kept changing when they took the the boy into custody, who they accused of, you know, ending that child life. And she was like, yeah, because they put the dogs on you. And I know, because back when I was in college, I seen the fraternities out there and they was doing that stuff, that hazing stuff. And the dogs got loose and they told the dogs to sick the ones who was trying to escape. And they seen me walking to my dorm, so the dogs got after me. But I ran them people. I was like, it's just always some outrageous story to make, they have to make themselves sound so heroic. And then you don't even know if that was true. Probably wouldn't. They just always got a doggone story to tell. Probably wasn't even true. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't. She just crazy. I'm like, ugh, can you please be quiet? They take away from the moment when they feel like they're being ignored. They got to be the center of attention. Just rude and ignorant. When they see other people talking, they just jump in with their bright ideas that nobody asked for. Yeah, all lies. Don't make no sense. And I feel like they do that because they don't have a life, and their life was nothing in compared to what they really wanted to be, not even close. And not say that's their fault, their childhood upbringing or whatever, especially if they came up in a bad environment or in an abusive environment. I wouldn't wish that on nobody. And a lot of times that's what they went through. You hear about so many narcissists who act a certain way towards others, you know, and it kind of tells you a lot about how they were probably brought up in a very strict household or with narc parents, or with them parents that think, oh, my child can't do no wrong. Everything you doing it's okay, even if it hurts someone else. You're a winner, even if you lost. They're not the winner, you are. You deserve to win. They kind of put that in their head. They don't teach them teamwork. They don't teach them that as long as you tried, you always get something out of trying, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for trying. You did your best. They don't give them pat on the backs and show them that they love them no matter what. They're not very supportive in a good way. They're superficial supporters. Like, they really make them think that they could never lose. They kind of teach them to be jealous of other people. That's how they grow up to be narcissists. Because they always, when they grow up, notice how the narc always talking negative about somebody, or, they very messy. They like to keep up a lot of mess and drama. Very jealous of people, always pointing out something about a person who just won something, somebody who just accomplished something. Before they compliment a person or congratulate them, they don't really know how to show true happiness for nobody, because they were taught not to. They were taught, your first reaction is the question, why did they get it and not me? And I noticed a lot of that in the narcissist, especially the one that I work with. That sociopath even talk that way about children. That's how I know I'm not, she ain't dealing with a whole deck of cards. Anytime you jealous of a child, or they have that special someone, who they look at as supply, because they pick people for supply for so many different reasons. But dealing with her at work, They got the favoritism with certain students. She will compare one to the other. Well, why did she win and not you? Because I would always see you out there and blah, blah, blah after school when I'm leaving work. Why do you even care? Why are you paying attention to that? Why are you bringing it up? Why is this a conversation? You're not supposed to even be talking to these children. Crazy. You are too invested in something that don't have nothing to do with you. They get so emotional behind something that don't have nothing to do with them. You know? And they control people based off how the people receive them, how they respond to them. If I offer you something, I want you to take it. If you don't, I don't like you. You know, crazy. Just crazy. But I'm gonna go ahead on and get off of here because I need to get busy. I am so behind and I can't let the night catch me because I gotta leave out. And it's gonna be dark in a little while, and I don't like to drive when it's dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the live here, y'all. I can hardly see. Put my glasses on. So catch up with some of the comments before I get off. Oh, hey, don't belong here. Say they hijack conversations all the time. Say childhood is no excuse. They know right from wrong. Yeah, they know right from wrong. They know right from wrong once they become an adult. Like, that's wrong, right? Like, it's no excuse. That's what I'd be like. You know, say they definitely know. Yeah, enablers. Yeah, them parents were enablers. The drama kings and queens. Children from North's home are not only subject to nursing at home, but in school and school. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk to y'all soon. Might be later. I might come back on a little later once I settle down and everything. So thank y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.